So many times we hear that sports can really dictate and possibly help how kids become adults. They can learn those lifelong lessons. Well, there's a new book out about just that. And I'm so excited to welcome in the authors to get their take and maybe get some tips when it comes to athletes as well. Let's go ahead and welcome in the two-time FIFA Women's World Cup champion, Olympic medalist, captain of the U.S. women's team. The list goes on. Christy Pierce-Rapone, and of course, Dr. Christine Keene, famed sports neuropsychologist. Ladies, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thanks for having us. We're doing good.
So let's talk. Be all in. I'm first curious how the two of you partnered up together, because again, with both of your backgrounds, you've been able to see the impact that sports can have on young lives. Why partner up?
Well, we're both sports moms, and I actually coach Dr. Keene's daughter, and we were working for the same organization talking about concussions, and we just really got talking about the climate of sports and wanting to give back with both of our experience on the clinical side as well as my experience as a player, coach, and mom. We just, combined together and just started writing stuff down and realized we just wanted to give guidelines to help parents have a better journey through sports with their child.
And of course, we do need to make note. We're not necessarily sure how the fall sports is going to look right now with everything always changing, but we know it's going to get back there. We know that things are going to become normal. Christy, it's interesting to talk with you. And you just said how you were an athlete, and that's how so many people know you, but now you're a mom. How did your perspective change when it comes to being a person that does realize how much sports can impact one's life?
Absolutely. I was transitioning into both throughout my career of being a mom and an athlete captain, playing on the best team in the world. And I realized that they were learning so many life lessons through the role models they were seeing and the other athletes on the team. And then transitioning just to being mom, I realized it was all about them. Like, I had my career. Yes, I had, I played at the highest level, but now it was their time to choose their own path. And they necessarily didn't have to play soccer. And I was okay with that. And I have two children, two daughters. One's competitive, one's not, but they both love the relationship they have with sport.
Dr. Christine, I want to get you involved here, kind of breaking down the book and seeing the different chapters. The one thing that caught my eye, the car ride home. That takes me back. I think anyone that even hears the title of that chapter kind of gets taken back to those car ride homes. What do parents need to know about that aspect to make sure they're doing the right thing?
So we included that because we heard so many parents talk to us about conflict, argument, kids tuning them out on the car ride home and asking us, how can we make that a better experience for our children? So the chapter really talks about when your child comes off the field, whether it's a win, a loss, they're excited, they're emotional, and the chapter talks about how we can deal with their emotions. We call it giving them time to heal from the field. So giving them space when they get in the car. So many times parents want to just jump in. Mm-hmm. What did the coach say? Why did that happen? How do you feel? And a lot of kids tune their parents out, or maybe they get into an argument. So we really give a lot of tips in that chapter about how to give your child space and to allow them to emote or have that moment to heal when they come off the field.
I can't speak on this yet. I have a 3-year-old, but kind of talking about that car ride home and moving forward, and even, cousins and family members, it seems like there's a fine line between pushing that mental toughness aspect, which I know you take a look at in the book, and then also trying to be the parent and build that confidence. I mean, as an Olympic athlete, someone who's so dedicated for so many years to soccer, what is that balance like, and how do you instill that in your children?
Yeah, that's the key things. You have to have that balance. So they do have an identity outside of sport, and allowing them to choose the sport and put them in that environment to succeed. And it's a process. I don't think a lot of people realize, like, when you first start putting your child into sport, like, you have to see how they're going to grow and develop and put them in an environment where they can learn and grow. And that starts with the coach, and that starts with the communication from the parent and the coach to make sure it's the right fit for your child, and then you start building from that aspect on. And, if they're more competitive, yes, the mental toughness comes in, and you can try to help put them in those situations that they may be uncomfortable and allow them to feel comfortable in those situations, because that's just life. Things are going to be thrown at you, just like what's going on right now in this pandemic of sports being shut down. You have to learn to adjust and adapt. And that's what you have to do with your child as they navigate their own journey through sport.
Doctor, in all of your years of working with athletes and, of course, families as well, and being a mom yourself, what's that one thing that you wish parents would understand or maybe try to instill in their athletes?
I would say it would be learning to be comfortable with the uncomfortable, using the fails in sports as the greatest gold that you would get out of playing. So teaching your child that when they lose a game, there's so much more to learn from that, and that the entire journey is based on those fails as part of their growth and development, rather than something to look back and resent or be angry about or sad about. That it's really part of playing sports, and it's one of the biggest biggest influence on a child's life and how they deal with those fails. So there's so much to get out of each game, each practice, each fail. And that when children can look at that and twist that, they can get a lot more out of it.
You're shaking your head, Christy. It sounds like that's a good one that you would agree on to end on as well, right?
Yes, absolutely. It's changing that inner voice from always having those negative thoughts into positive thoughts. And that's a process. You have to keep encouraging your kid, giving them encouragement through those tough times, and not just say it's okay. Like, kind of have that true, honest communication with your child that these are the moments in life that you have to persevere through. And, it's uncomfortable, but, and their egos may be hurt. Your ego as a parent may be hurt, but just take the emotion aside and realize it's a learning lesson. We learn from our mistakes in life.
I like it. Ladies, thank you so much. The book is called Be All In. Again, we appreciate you both talking about these lessons today. Take care, okay?
Thank you, Natalie.
Thank you.
And we hope you stay right there because, of course, our show will continue on the other side of this break.